back up toward Tuscumbia on the banks and in the streets as far as we can see, just an ocean of people.
Awaiting President Carter's arrival at the airport.
Estimates in the neighborhood of 25 to 35,000 people. And the biggest crowd I have ever been in my life. People that were trying to see him along the parade route will come down this way, too.
He picked the best place. That's the South.
I'm proud that he's a Southerner.
Best thing that's ever happened to Tuscumbia.
We're proud of him.
We appreciate him coming.
He's coming back home.
The arrival of the president is always a special event, but never more so than when he comes home to the South.
In the last few years, I've been to a lot of places and I've seen a lot of people. But I just want to say how great it is to be with folks who don't talk with an accent. Our past is a rich source of inspiration. We've had lessons that we learned with a great deal of pain, but the past is not a place to live. We must go forward in the South, and we will.
President Carter understands the history of the South, but he also understands the new South. He understands where we are now. President Carter is a man of peace, but at the same time, committed to a strong national defense.
I'm grateful that I can look back on my first term and see 4 years of peace. And that's what we want for the next 4 years, is peace. But I'd like to remind you that the peace we enjoy is based on American military strength and American moral strength. 2 years ago, I was at Camp David with President Sadat and Prime Minister Begin. After several days of hard negotiating, there was a deadlock. We weren't getting anywhere. So I said, let's take a day off. And I took them across the border, the Maryland-Pennsylvania border, to Gettysburg. I wanted to show these two men that we Americans know something about war, and we know about neighbors fighting against neighbors. The three of us walked through the valleys and hills where more than 40,000 young Americans fell in battle. As we looked across the fields, standing on the same place where General Robert E. Lee stood, I remembered that in all our nation's wars, every war, young men from the South have led the roles of volunteers and also led the roles of casualties. We Southerners believe in the nobility of courage on the battlefield, and because we understand the cost of war, we also believe in the nobility of peace.
He makes us proud because he understands the special qualities of the South, and yet he exhibits the best traits of national and world leadership.
He demands of us the things that should be demanded. And I say this about the people of this country, they have responded.
And we're going to do even better. We're going to run our homes and our cars and our factories on American industry, American energy, American coal, American solar power, American synthetic fuels, American gasohol. And we're going to use American technology and American resources. Last but not least, millions of American workers to do it.
Jimmy Carter was one of the leaders that brought about the New South.
President Carter has brought the South back into America.
He's won friends for the South. He's won renewed respect for our area. I'm going to support him on November the 4th.
Re-elect President Carter.